Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. Today, we have Mr. Harveen Bedi with us here today. I'll start with a quick introduction. Harveen comes with more than two and a half decade of varied industry experience. At the onset of his career, Harveen worked with Nestle India for over 7 years in sales and marketing divisions, from where he made his way into Info Edge India Limited. Within InfoEdge, Harveen successfully headed diverse businesses such as Quadrangle Executive Search, Fast Forward Resume Services, and e-hire services. Over the years, Harveen's urge to make a larger and deeper impact for professionals has made him transition to learn leadership coaching from the world's top coaching training organizations like Ericsson International, Dr. D. Martini, Blair Singer, among others. Now, with various certifications, he is on a personal mission to make lives, careers, and businesses of more than 1 lakh people more meaningful and fulfilling. He also heads CSR in the company and works with various NGOs in the education and employability spectrum for increasing their impact. His core values are authenticity, fairness, respect, and sense of humor. Welcome, Harveen. Thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me, Aparna. Pleasure to be here and in this engineering week and speaking to engineers about something which is not engineering.
Right, I'm sure everybody's really excited to learn from you today. So I'll start with a burning question. Since we need your expertise, so if you could share your perspective on the importance of leadership skills for engineers entering the workforce, and what specific leadership qualities or attributes do you believe engineers should cultivate to excel in their careers?
Okay, so engineers, according to me, have always been problem solvers. They solve all the problems, and all the innovation here, which we see around us, is because of engineers. And so they've got the best problem solving skills. But on leadership, what leadership is more about inspiring people, which could be your inspiring your team, it could be inspiring your customers, it could be inspiring your potential customers, and even inspiring your vendors to work with you and stay with you at times when you need them the most. And leadership inspires them towards certain common goals which you take. So, to me, the two most important skills are clarity on your goals and communicating them.
Correct. Absolutely. And there's another question which I come across very often. Many engineers aspire to leadership roles in their respective fields since they have such an expertise in their domain. What advice or strategies can you offer to these engineers who are looking to transition from their technical roles to leadership positions within their organizations?
Okay, so the basic thing you need to start and understand about leadership is that leadership is not a destination. It's not that when you will reach 30 under 30 and get an award, that day you will become a leader. Leadership is something which you inculcate within, and which basically it is series of inner transformation which happens every day. The way you live your life, who are you? So it's more about, are you living the inspired life in all the areas of your life, or are you just troubling between some work and family issues, or are you even aware what all areas of life which you can live? So it's and I have a very good program which I do. It's a 4-hour program on basically helping leaders live their true self by goal setting by goal setting in all the 8 areas of their life, and a system to process those goals.
Fantastic, fantastic. We'd love if you could elaborate on this program and framework today. I know that's a 4 hour long program, but if we could put it in a gist and for the audience today who's here, we'd really appreciate that.
Yeah. So first, I'd like to hear from the audience. Would you be really interested in finding this? Can you type yes in the chat box? That would give me an idea that you are interested to take this forward. And this would be all about how can you live leadership by design and create your life through purposeful goals. So waiting for some yeses in the chat box to take it to the next level. And I'm because one big requirement for this is that I need the audience to participate. I need all you engineers and even all those people who logged in. Thank you, Nishan, thank you, Naveen, and Chenam Shetty. Thank you, Topmate. Because the more you participate, the more you learn. And what I can promise you is that this next 50 minutes will be life changing for you. Though it's a Thursday afternoon, you must have had lunch, but this 60-50 minutes would be life changing if you participate. Thank you, Anushka. Yeah, so to start with, if I can say welcome to this webinar about leadership, and thank you because you took this time, however busy you were in your schedules, and I know you're always doing sprints or working, have meetings back to back, or are working on your thing, and it's a Thursday afternoon, but that you took time out to understand leadership is the first step. That you showed up here and you are spending this time. This is the first step to take you and make you aware of what you want to learn and where you want to go. So thank you for being there. And I'm Harveen Bedi. A little story, though Aparna did mention my background. I was short thing. I spent about 7.5 years in Nestle in sales and marketing. 16 years in Info Edge, heading their recruitment divisions called Quadrangle, doing leadership hiring for many multinational and Indian companies, advising many CXOs in their growth journey, 5 years plus as a CSR head. And then 5 years back, I got passionate about coaching and I got myself certified through various international organizations as well as some Indian organizations on different coaching practices. And my website is called Answer What Next because I help people answering what next they should be doing when they're stuck. Some of our mentors and trainers from North America to Australia to South India mentioned here, like Madeline, Joanne Harris, Blair Single, Dr. John Martini, Siddharth Rajshekar from South, Anish Patel from Gujarat, Gaurav from Gurgaon, Manmeet Chaudhary, London. So these are some of the few people I really loved learning from. And my personal mission, which I've taken in my leadership coaching journey, is to make lives, careers, and businesses of 1 lakh people more meaningful and fulfilling. So if you would want your life to be meaningful and fulfilling, just write I in the chat box. If you're ready to start your meaningful journey, just write I in the chat box. Thank you. So leadership is first about knowing where you are headed and where you have reached till now. So you have to understand the journey which you're going through. Who are you from within and where do you want to go? So would you agree with me, Aparna?
Absolutely. I think that clarity is definitely needed before you make any decisions.
Yeah. So most of us, and this I learned from one of my mentors, live the or life. When I say the or life, it's basically we are shuffling between two things. It's like, okay, how much should I put in my work? How much should I put in my family? Or what should I do with my office? How much time can I spend with my friends? So I call it, this is the or life, this or that, this or that. This is the life. And one of the characteristics of this life is defined by the environment around us. It's not about how we want to live, but it's the environment defines us. The boss has given us work. This is we have to do. Friends want to go out for a movie or a party. This is what I want to do. They define, and we justify ourselves by doing things which are not important for us, but which could be important for others. So this is what I also identified myself living many years back, and I called it the or life, this or that. However, for successful leaders, I would say they live a very different life, and I call it the and life. And the difference between the on or life and life is that we have 8 different areas in our life. It's about getting clarity. Where do we want to reach in all those 8 areas? So it's not about I want to spend 8 hours with my family and 8 hours with my office, but what exactly I should be clear I want out of my family. What do I want out of my health? What do I want out of my social circle, friends? Where do I want to reach in my work? So getting that clarity in all the areas, and then you know, okay, this much effort required for this. If I just want to, like, health, everybody wants to be healthy, but do I want to run a marathon, or do I want to just stay fit, or do I want to be in the Olympics? You have to have 100% clarity, because then only you will be able to progress and work towards that goal. So that's what I call the and life. And this is the best definition of success which I have come across till now. That success is a progressive realization of worthy goals. This is by Earl Nightingale. And I, because it's not about achieving those goals, it's about progressing towards those goals. And so the key here is three things: that we have to set the intention, we have to have clarity on our goals, what we want from our life, and we have to progress in things which inspire us. So, anybody from the audience, would you agree to this? Say yes or no. Okay, I'll move on, and let me take you to this. I have three-step program which I teach on how. Thanks, Nishan. I have three-step program on how you can get all these leadership skills with goals and have a system to progress this. And so let me take you to the first step. The step one is setting annual goals, and annual goals in all 8 areas of your life. And here, what I would want the audience is, if you can get pens and papers, because if you work with me right now in the next 40 minutes, the clarity which you're going to get about yourself will be amazing. So I'm going to give you some 30 seconds to just grab a pen and paper, because I know some of you may have logged in from your mobile, some of you may have been just hearing me from your office, but just log in a pen and paper, because I would want down certain things which are for you. These will help you clarify what are the goals, because, like I said, there are 8 areas of our life. We have to set our annual goals, and we don't have to wait for New Year's Eve. That, okay, I will set all my goals on January. We have to start from now. So you can start from what am I going to do from 15 September 2023 to 14 September 2024. So all those who've got a pen and a pencil and paper can just write me in the chat box. So I know that people have got that. Just write me in the chat box. I really appreciate your, because when I get feedback where you're working with me, this will take a longer time, because you have to work with it. So just write me in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you, Rishi. Thank you, Nikhil. So first, let me ask this. The first area of my life, or which I would say is what you need to work on, is spiritual goals. And no, I don't want to be talk about God or anything, but spirituality in the context of whatever it means to you. And for some people, it could mean meditation. For some people, it could mean knowing purpose of their life. For some people, it could mean reading some ancient scriptures. So whatever spirituality means to you, I would just want you to think on that and tell me that how would you want to grow in your spiritual journey in the next 1 year? What is it that you would want to do in the next 1 year? For example, I look at spirituality as, okay, doing more of breathing and meditation exercises 15 minutes a day. I look at spirituality in my goals. There are, okay, listening to at least 20 podcasts on about spiritual leaders, whether it's Sadhguru, or whether it's D. Martini or some other people who I follow across the globe, 20 podcasts a month. And that is my spiritual journey. So, what is a spiritual goal for you? Aparna, what could be a spiritual goal for you?
I think for me, I'd try to figure out the purpose of my own life. So for that, I'll find any avenue, whether that's going back to reading any old scripture or whether that's listening to Sadhguru and just understanding what is bringing meaning to my life and where it's headed.
Okay. So, what would you want to do in the next 1 year in your spiritual journey?
Um,
Think and
that's a
whatever
diff-
comes to your mind. This is, I'm saying, just an open discussion.
right,
No judgment here.
right. I think I'll start with meditation because I feel that'll bring a little bit peace of mind, and from there on, maybe figure out what else contributes to that peace of mind.
Sure. So just write that meditation is going to be your goal, and you're going to do meditation, whatever you're comfortable with. 20 times a month, 10 times a month, 5 times a month. And anybody from the audience, what would be your spiritual goal? I would love to hear what is spirituality to you and what would you want to do. For example, I also put this as okay, in the next 1 year, I want to attend one of those Sadhguru's Ichha Foundation retreats in Coimbatore. That's just one goal which I have. So, anybody from the audience would love to hear your spiritual goals. While you're typing them, I can move to the next second goal. And the second goal is, to me, is about what are your learning and education goals. And when I say learning and education goals, I divide them typically into two. I divide them that, okay, what are the goals, what are the areas which I want to learn in my vocation, which could be my work, whatever I'm doing, is there some new thing which has come up? And second is on my passion. So on my vocation, for example, is there a new course which I would want to do this year, which would help me do more? And in my passion, is it, so my passion, for example, I love swimming. And so what do I want to learn in swimming? Is there a new stroke I would love to learn? And so this is the kind of learning goals which in a year's perspective is what you need to put in, that what are your learning goals, what do you want to learn. So if you're in engineering, and in engineering the things are changing so fast, what is it that you would want to learn? And it's amazing that today there is so much of learning which you can happen online. You can do short-term courses from the best of the institutes, whether it be IIT, IIM, or it could be INSEAD, Stanford. You have all these courses available on open platforms. Most are free, some are paid. So what exactly would you want to learn in the next 1 year? So I would want that from the audience again. What would you want to learn, whether it could be your vocation or passion? And in the meantime, thanks, Nikhil, for your answer on spirituality, to raise the consciousness via meditation, to know the purpose of service to others. Thanks for your answer. And Rishu, thanks for I want to visit Kedarnath for Man Ki Shanti. Really appreciate you sharing that. So anybody on their learning goals, what could be your learning goals? Aparna, what would you want to learn in the next 1 year?
The hot topic, which is AI, really want to get ahead of it so that I don't miss the boat of really understanding that. That's on work. And then on passion, fitness is my passion. So I want to be able to do a headstand this year. That's hopefully my goal.
Great. Yeah. So just write these two down so that I'm saying they are there, because once you write them down, then your mind will keep reminding you. Yeah, so we've got some Srinivas saying that he wants to complete his scalar course on software engineering. Thank you, Srinivas. So the more you're learning, but you need to put your goal, because you see, otherwise we keep postponing that. Kar lenge, kabhi ho jayega. Once you put it down, then your mind will start thinking ways to implement it. Should we move ahead to the next goal? Third is your career and business goal. And here, I don't mean a lot of people mistake this on their increment and their designations and their salaries. Here, I would like to talk more about what would you want to thrive in your career? What is it that one thing you would really love to do in your career? In and it's again, like I said, what would you love to do next? Is there some skill which you want to master? And yeah, somebody, Nikhil said you want to learn about data analysis and HVAC systems. Great, Nikhil. Thanks for sharing. And so, what could be your career goals that, okay, I want to do more of leadership. I want to, so can I volunteer for some positions which are leadership positions, which could be within my organizations, which could be outside my organizations. Okay, there's a society we live in. I want to learn, or in my career, I would want to understand how to manage people. So, what in my next year or in my career, I'm passionate about solving some problems. So apart from the KRAs and KPIs which I have in my organization, can I volunteer for some problem solving within my organization in other aspects? For I may be a very good coder. How can I use my coding skills to solve HR problems? How can I use my coding skills to solve finance problems? So can I volunteer and ask? And okay, is there somewhere where I can help? And it's amazing when you start asking, you will find ways and means where you can basically plan that this is the area which I want to grow in my career. And once you start volunteering in that, once you start doing projects in that, once you start working on that, you will see yourself excelling in that. So coming to the next goals, financial goals. So here also I divide them into these different parts, which is how much do I want to earn, how much do I want to save, how much do I want to invest, how much do I want to do charity, if you want to do charity, what is the big spend I want to plan for this year, some big wedding or some international holiday or something you want to buy, some Canadian lifestyle. And a very important thing which I see a lot of people missing, how much would I spend on my education? So I strongly recommend that whatever your net take home salary, 5% of your net take home salary, you should park to upgrade your skills. Because understand, you are doing whatever because of your mind, because of what you've learned. And it's nobody else's duty to make sure that you sharpen your mind. It's your own duty. The company will also definitely make you go through programs, but they will make you through programs which benefit the team as well as the company. You have to focus on the programs which you want to learn and educate yourself. So unless you make a budget for it, that you say, okay, 5% of my net take home is something I'm going to park in a separate mutual fund or some savings account, which I'm going to spend on doing courses. And I must say, after COVID, courses are available on everything to anything. So, how much? So, how many of you agree that spending on education is a big thing which you may not have thought of? Right? I in the chat box. And there's, like I said, no judgment. I would love to see the chat growing because that's how I get feedback that you are with me all the time and understanding it. In the meantime, let me take you to the next goal. Thanks, Nikhil. Now, the next goal which I'm talking about, people take for granted. Family relationship goals. And believe me, however close you are with any family member, there is potential to become more closer. There is potential to do more work on your relationships. So, and it's not about, again, just spending time together, it's more about spending quality time. And when I say family relationship goals, I typically, the way I would put it is, okay, I want to be closer to my parents. Okay, and when I say closer, my parents stay in Chandigarh. So my goal is every month I would visit Chandigarh. And I spend 2 days, 3 days, 2 to 3 days there, and just be there for them for those 2 days, just listen to them, their stories, And I know my mom will keep repeating the same stories every time I go, but I love to just be there for her. And I used to not do this 3 years back. I used to say, Ki Chandigarh is so close, I can go whenever I want. And there would be 3, 4 months, 5 months where I wouldn't have gone or I wouldn't have visited. But ever since the last 2, 3 years, yes, COVID was a little break, but I make it a point I go every month, one weekend, spend with them. So I want to be closer to my sister's family. I want to be within my own family. I want to be closer to my wife. So what do I do about it? So okay, me and my wife will go out for a dinner every once a month, which will be just and that will be only about listening to her what she wants to say because a lot of times we don't listen. We are just talking. And similarly for my daughter, my son, for like 20 days a month, we will have dinner together and hear just each other on how their day went. So it's like mandatory that 20 days we'll be together. Rest of the days, yes, people are traveling, doing some other things. My son is in a hostel, so whenever he comes, how can I spend time with him? Uh, uh, Thankfully, he's on the way to Chandigarh at Ashoka University, so I stop by, spend half an hour with him while going, spend half an hour while coming. So unless you plan, my point is, unless you plan, these are the people you want to be closer to. It's not going to happen on its own. Otherwise, life will take over. You will be doing somebody else's work, somebody else's priorities. So, anybody, thanks, Srinivas, Rima, in the meantime, for answering. Who would you, I would love to know who would you want to be closer to in your family relationships? And feel free to write in the chat box. Aparna, what about you?
I think since now I'm married, I'd like to be closer to my parents. I don't get to spend as much time with them.
Yeah. So, what would be your goal for the
Maybe
year?
maybe take a family trip with them. Spend a couple of days away from our usual life.
That's great. I'll tell you what I do. Uh, I say that, okay, I do one quarter, I like to do one vacation every quarter. Okay, so one vacation is me and my wife. One vacation is me going with my in laws' side and their side of the family, her sister, uh, going there. One vacation is with my side of the family where we go spend time together, my sister, my parents. And one vacation is, let's say, four of us, my daughter, my son, my wife. So that's how I like to plan it. And what I learned from one of my mentors is an amazing thing that whenever you do your annual planning, plan your vacations first. So
Right.
plan, okay, book your tickets, book your hotels, rest everything work will follow, and it'll get scattered because that once you paid, you're gonna go. So that's one thing which has helped me do it. How about you others in the chat box? Anybody? What would be your family goals, relationship goals for 1 year? Who would you want to be closer to, or what you're going to do about it? I'd love to hear that. In the meantime, let me take you to the next goal. Health goals. Who doesn't want to be healthy? And so everybody wants health in some form or the other. This could be mental health, it could be physical health, it could be eating better, it could be looking better. And I'm not judging anyone for it. It's your goal. What do you want to be at the end of 1 year? Is it you want to lose some kgs, or you want to have some muscle, or is it that you want to eat healthier? You want to go less to the doctor? You want to get off some tablets? What is the goal? So this is also one of the more important things which like I said, if we don't take it in our hands, then somebody else will, the doctors will take this over. And I'm assuming a lot of you are youngsters and healthy, but I know engineers work really long hours, work late nights, and this is something which you need to be very careful of, that how are you going to make your health goals and for the next year to come. I would love to hear again on the chat box if you have some health goals which you would want to achieve in the next 1 year. The seventh area where you need to put your goals on is your social goals. And again, social goals, so social goals could be very different for somebody. Somebody, it could be working for a not-profit, working for the underprivileged in the society. For somebody, it could be only friends. For you, it could be, okay, getting together with your alumni, the college which you passed on, getting together with them once a year, twice a year. Uh, for somebody, it could be joining a networking group. Uh, Work friends, how many times do we meet together? Ex company friends. So you just need to be clear that, okay, this, otherwise the Goa trip which everybody keeps planning and doesn't go will just get postponed and postponed till you retire. But yes, why don't you plan and take that Goa trip? And again, thanks, Nikhil, for your daily yoga and exercise for at least 30 minutes. Thanks for your showing your goals and sharing it with us. I really appreciate it. So, like I said, social goals, Aparna, anything from your side? You would what would you want your social goals to be in the next 1 year?
I think devoting a little bit more time towards community in any which way possible. Mentoring somebody or getting a mentor also kind of falls into that bucket for me.
Yeah. So just quantify it that, okay, I would want to mentor two people this year. Just quantify it because then it happens easily. Otherwise, it's a little vague. And I would want to get mentored by one person. I would hire myself a coach or whatever, a mentor, or speak to these people or follow these people. Just write them. And that's what I would ask all our audience also to do. Just write what would be your social goals for, and it could be again in your leadership. It could also be in the society you live in terms of, is it an apartment building? Can I volunteer for something? Can I help somebody out? Can I help the association? Whatever your goals are, whatever you enjoy. And coming to last but not the least, what are your passion and hobby goals? What would you like to achieve? Uh, and I want to differentiate this from the learning part. Learning is you want to learn something about your passion. Okay, you want to learn a new skill, and this is what you want to do. So for me, like swimming, I enjoy swimming. So doing 2 kilometers of swimming nonstop is something a goal which I did it pre-COVID, but post-COVID I've not been able to do. So that's a goal which I've kept for myself. And again, it could be reading something, it could be learning a musical instrument. Uh, and again, I would love for the audience to tell me what would be their hobby, passion goals, which they've been procrastinating for long and thinking, kar lenge, aage jaake, we'll do it someday. So, and till the audience doesn't answer, my favorite, Aparna, what would be your passion hobby goal for this year?
I think it would be to get a canvas and some paints and learn how to paint finally. I think I've been waiting to do that for over 10 years now.
So just write that out that I'm going to do this, and then you see once you write these things down, then the things happen. Otherwise, they stay in the back of your mind. And I'd love for the audience to keep pouring in their goals because that's how all of us can learn together. So now this was all about the first step, which is writing our annual goals. And I want to understand how you're feeling, Aparna. If you could tell me, once you came across these 8 areas of your life, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel a little more in control of the next year because in the day to day, you tend to lose sight of what you're working towards. So setting these goals is helping me feel like I'm more in control. I have a purpose every day, and if I'm fulfilling a few of these every day, then I'm one step closer to actually achieving them over the next year.
Yeah, and that's what I said leadership is all about. And a lot of people get a little overwhelmed also once they see ki, oh, so many areas of I had not even thought about. I was just thinking ki, I need an increment. I want to become a senior manager. I need to become an associate vice president or a technical architect. But this is too much work. But uh, I follow this lady Liz Foslin. She says everything what you can do today is very small, but everything you can do in your life is huge. But you just have to do your small dot every day. And right now, today's or whenever you're hearing the webinar, is that just make your annual list of goals in these 8 areas. And would it be okay for us to go to the second step? This was the first step, which was more on goal setting. Is it okay to move to the second step?
Absolutely.
So, second step, I say just make next month's action plan. That in the next month, in all these 8 areas, what are the 2, 3 things I can do? And there may be some areas you may not touch that month. For example, I will not touch swimming next month. But okay, in my learning, can I read one book a month? This month, which is the one book? Probably in my spirituality, can I do my meditation? Or in my area of passion, is this what I'm going to do? In my health, can I eat more healthier, eat more salads, soups, or whatever is the goal? So just work on 1 month action plan, and under all these 8 areas, just write 2, 3 things which are doable. Okay, you know your life, you know what is how much time you have, what's your schedule, what are the 2 to 3 tasks for each heading that you can do, and then at the end of the month see how much you were able to achieve. Now, this the best part about this is that it's not about achieving them 100%, because we lot of time, and I'm specifically speaking to all you engineers, you want to achieve 100% of whatever is given to you. It's okay, but this is life. It will not work out 100%, but even if you do 50% better, understand that you progress 50% from last month. It's progress. Okay, you wouldn't have done these things if you did not write this action plan. So even if you progress 30%, 50%, 80%, and like I said, success is about progressive realization of worthy goals. So this is more about reviewing that. And my step 3 is that you have to have a daily gratitude journal. This is the system which binds everything together. And when I say a gratitude journal, I say 5 things which are you grateful for today, and what are the 1 action steps. There is something which you will do as a routine habit, that okay, I want to start this habit. I need to let's say walk 10 minutes a day, exercise, meditate 15 minutes a day from today. What is that routine habit which every day you're going to do? And what is the new action which may not be a habit, but which is towards your goal for the month? And this, whatever time suits you, whether it's last thing at night or the first thing in the morning, whatever suits you, just go by that. And at that time, for me, first thing in the morning, I open my gratitude journal, and I have this planner which I teach on all my workshops, that just write 5 things you're grateful for, and you will find. Initially, people who've never done gratitude journaling may struggle and may come up with small things like, okay, somebody smiled at me, maybe somebody had cooked very nice food, or you said good morning and somebody replied. It could be smaller things, it could be bigger things which happened in your life. Okay, catching up with your family, speaking to your parents on a video call. You can be just thankful for these small things. So this is the one thing which ties up and keeps your mindset totally positive towards progressing in your goals. And so this is the system which has worked for me for the last 3-4 years. I've been doing this, and it's been an amazing journey. Life couldn't be better. So I'll just do a quick recap if it's okay, Aparna.
Absolutely. We can do a quick recap.
Yeah, so these 8 areas of our life: spiritual, learning, career or business, financial, family relationships, social, which could be social and friends, health, hobby and passion, goals, annual goals in all these 8 areas. Where do I want to reach? I have to be very clear that, okay, if I'm very clear, I'm going to meet my alumni this year twice, then I know, okay, this is my involvement with my alumni. Okay, and then that will get planned, and then that will get executed. But otherwise, if we leave things to chance, then events will come, events will go, and my life, somebody else would be taking control of my life. Step two, what are the 2, 3 action plans only for next month against all these 8 headings? You have your annual goal, then you have these 8 headings, and what are the 2, 3 things which are doable for you in all these 8 areas of your life? And step three is your great daily gratitude journal. 5 things which you're grateful for, which happened that day. What is your routine habit which you're going to continue? A new habit which is going to help you in your goals. And what is some action steps which you're going to take tomorrow? That's all. This is my key mantra of 3 steps to leadership. Because unless you live an inspiring life, you will not be able to inspire others. So, and leadership is all about inspiring people, inspiring your team, inspiring your customers, like I said, inspiring your vendors. So, what next? Next is very simple. Don't wait again for the new years to happen. Just do it yourself. Take any blank diary, notebook, and don't go for the most fancy gratitude journal. Just a blank notebook would work. And whatever you've learned from today, just try and implement whatever you understand. And I would really want the audience to tell me how did they get any takeaway they had from today or any value they got from today's webinar. And again, starting with you, Aparna, what is the one takeaway you have, or what value did you get today?
I think my value would be the structure that this is bringing to my life. There's a lot of anxiety which comes with professions these days, both with overloading ourselves with work as well as trying to achieve goals and getting a promotion and just in the rat race. Often we forget to get the right amount of sleep or get a structure in place. So having a structure like this and concise plans would help reduce that anxiety to a very large extent and the fear of the unknown because you're working towards something and you're showing progress towards a goal.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Aparna. I would love for the users also to say if they got any value, anything which they were, which was kind of an eye opener for them. And yes, Aparna, it's like you have to be clear that how am I going to take charge of my life? And these are the only 8 areas of your life. If I am not in charge, somebody else will else take charge. If I am not in charge of my health, somebody else will take charge. If I'm not in charge of my career, somebody else will take charge. If I'm not in charge of my social circle, then I will be forced to go to parties which I don't want to go, or attend events which I don't want to attend because somebody else said that. But if I have in mind these are the things I'm going to do and these are the networking events, and I schedule them as per I'm saying my then that's where I take charge, and that is to me the first step in leadership. We have to take charge of our lives before we start leading others.
Right.
And I would also, this is, you can check me out, follow me on LinkedIn, or if you have any other questions right now, feel free to ask for all the members attending the webinar. Feel free to ask whether you're attending it from YouTube or Facebook. Uh, you can ask, or you can later on ping me on this my website, answerwhatnext.com. And can we stop the presentation in the and just Aparna, any questions which you have?
I think one of my questions for you would be that how would these skills help our leadership skills? How would these help I understand taking control and taking charge helps you work towards a goal, but I'm very curious to know how these skills then translate in the workplace and you're able to demonstrate confidence that helps you transform yourself into a leader.
Yeah. So, like I said, leadership is all about inspiration. So, first, you have to show that you are a person worth people want to follow. Because once you start living a life which is a balanced life, and again, balanced, it doesn't mean that every area has to be same. For somebody who's just out of college, work may be the top priority right now, and spirituality may be low. It is okay, but you know that if you're clear about that and you're living that life, then other people look up to you and say, okay, this is the person who's always positive, who's living, and they want to be with you, they want to understand you, follow you, how you've been able to do it. And that's where you can develop that kind of a leadership persona on, again, communicating what you want to communicate, what could be your ideas, but it's about living it every day of what inspires you so that you can inspire others.
That makes a lot of sense. If you look at peace with yourself, I believe people turn to you for providing them leadership as well.
Yeah, so if you're not happy, you can't spread happiness, right? So you have to
Right.
be happy within you, you have to be a leader within you. And it's, if you are not fit, people are not going to follow you for fitness. If you are not uh, doing your work with passion, if you're not following your if you don't have good family relationships, if you're not educating yourself, you're not upgrading yourself, then others would also look and say, okay, is this a person I would like to follow? And any
Right.
questions from the audience, would love to have it. In the meantime, Nikhil, thanks, you've been the most uh, participative guy, and you can even ping me on LinkedIn. I would love to send you a copy of my planner because of your participation. And just ping me on LinkedIn and send me your address. In the, can we stop the screen share? How do I? Yeah, yeah. Anything else? Because this is what I could give. In my workshop, I usually takes long. We make them write their goals because again, it's 20% is about knowing what to do. Everybody knows that you need to be healthy and you need to go to the gym or you need to do yoga, but it's about having a gym instructor or a yoga instructor making you or knocking at your door and saying, "Okay, it's time to do it."
Absolutely. If there's any questions from the audience, I have one last question. Since workload is a lot these days for a lot of people, and since we are all very professionally ambitious as well, so we take on way more than we can achieve. Do you have any tips to be able to multitask and balancing professional and personal life besides, of course, the planner, but day to day, if you had any advice for our engineers, since they have really, really busy schedules, if you had any tips to be able to manage life better on a day to day basis?
On a day-to-day basis, I really like that Eisenhower's matrix. That's what it's called. I think between urgent and important. That there are things which are really urgent in your life, and there are things which are important. And the difference is important things are very important for the long-term growth, and urgent just have to be done. And and there are some things which are urgent but which may not be important. So those can be delegated to people who can do them, like giving your bills. I'm just giving examples. And there are
Mhm.
some things which are important for your growth that you need to schedule, which may not be urgent. That okay, it's like doing a course on artificial intelligence. It may not be urgent. You don't need to do it today, but you need to look on one Sunday and find out which are the courses and then schedule it. Okay, I will do it in the month of January. This is the course. And then once it's scheduled, then it will happen. So whenever you have this too many things to do, it's always schedule the important ones, delegate the not important but urgent ones, and of course the urgent one which fall on your head, which you need to do them. You need to do that. In fact,
Makes a lot of sense.
the way I see in that matrix is the first thing you can do is the important and not urgent things, uh, is scheduling them, because scheduling doesn't take too much time. Okay, I'm going to do this next week, Monday to this. I'm going to do on this email which I've got. I'm going to answer on this, and I think Google on other have also got this facility that you can schedule that email. Okay, I need to be reminded about this work on next Thursday 2 p.m. So I've scheduled it. ये अब हो तब देखेंगे. अभी के लिए let me focus on what is the burning issue which I need to. Thanks,
Right.
Aparna. Thanks for this, and thanks to the audience for being active and sharing their own journeys and own goals.
No, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. I'm sure there's many takeaways from this session today. So thank you so much for providing us your time, and lovely to meet with you. And I'm sure the audience is also really excited about hearing from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Papa.